Welcome back to Nerdrotic. My name is Gary Beekler, and I come to you from nerdrotic.com. And I'm live in San Francisco, and we are here to discuss one of the best shows on television that is in danger and needs you. Counterpart, Season 2, Episode 7, No Strings Attached. Again, another brilliant episode. After having kind of a slow start, this season is right there with Season 1, if not better. I really, even they've dialed back the Howard Silk character a bit, and we'll have to see how that plays out. It's not my favorite thing right now, but it doesn't seem to matter because all the other characters are that interesting. And that really is an important thing in a show. Good writing, good characterization, good directing, good acting. This show has it all the way around completely. So where do we start out? We start out where we left off. Last episode, it was very Mira and it was Yanik centric. We saw the experiment. We saw the origin of management. We found out that Yanik was behind most of this. He was a prisoner of the Prime side because he killed his other. He killed his other in front of his other's daughter. So who is Mira? We do not know at this point in time where the other Mira is. I'm assuming she's dead, but I'm not sure. Maybe I missed that part. So we start out with Mira's message to management, and it looks like at least management on one side, we got to see them all later on, and it looks like they've actually agreed to this. And possibly because they know they will be found out. They know that Mira has one of the cases, and they have been found out. So we're going to see. We also saw what is behind really their plan, the Indigo's plan, what they plan to do to the other side, and we will get to that. So we also get a flashback with Ian, and we find out Ian's name was Wesley, and his wife on the other side did indeed die. Now the men who we see him walk in, and his dead wife's at the bottom of some stairs, and the men who were there to question her, they say they were just going to talk to her, or at least not kill her in that way. But she got spooked and ran away and died. They apologized to Wesley, who is now Ian Shaw, gave him some money, told him his new identity, and said, the next time you want to tell your little secret to somebody, remember, anybody you hold dear will die, and possibly you. So he was sent to the other side. We see that Ian is with the lawyer for management on the Prime side, and they are on their way to Emily. There's a quick phone conversation between him and Emily, and she tells him that Howard is with her as well. We also see that Peter Quayle, the one in Echo Prison, did survive, found his tapes, by the way. So we also see that Peter Quill, fucking Quill. Why do I say Quill? God damn it. I am out of it tonight. Peter Quayle, fucking Quayle himself, is being interrogated by Nia Temple. Or not Nia Temple, but one of the other interrogators there. And he talks about the affair that he supposedly had with his secretary, the affair that, of course, he really didn't have, but he had no idea that she was part of the whole Indigo thing. And he is, just found out that Claire has continued to lie to him. He's still got like blood on his collar. And he confronts Claire about this when he gets home. And he just, he feels sorry for the secretary. He adored her. She made the tea perfect for him, but he finds out that this whole thing is a lie. This perfect cup of tea that she made on his first day of work, exactly how he likes it. He knows because Claire had suggested it. And he just wonders, like, why didn't you just let me die? And again, we hear that Peter is important, although he's not feeling that important right now. And again, Howard hasn't been in this season very much. I don't know if J.K. Simmons shooting something else. Who knows? But quickly we see that but Peter and his father-in-law, Roland, is a little bit pissed off because he's heard about the confession. and he confronts Peter and Claire at their house, and he starts chewing out Claire, and he says, "I thought I've raised you better than this. Why don't you just leave this a-hole?" And she almost breaks cover right there, and she's all, "You don't know anything about me. I'm my own person now, and you stay the hell out of my life. That's the man I chose." And she kind of backs Peter, and he's a little impressed. But they have to go back to the office. Peter was sent home under armed guard, but Roland went back to get him and said, "We've got called into a meeting because they want to talk." The Prime side had let the ambassador Sai go with a bit of a packet, and it's part of the deal that they are going to agree to meet Mira, which is a horrible, horrible idea. And I think the only person who knows this is Naya Temple. Naya Temple also interrogates Howard Prime a little bit, who is doing a halfway decent job looking like Howard Silk. And she, after she prayed a little bit, she prays for clarity. And the reason she was hired, if we remember back to the first episode, is to sniff out a certain kind of spy. And I think this is very important because while we're seeing everything come together, we're seeing what Project Indigo really is. We're seeing what their motivation is. We still don't know what the hell Howard's role in this is, other than what he's told us. So Howard's role in this apparently was just try to suss out what, who is killing who, to protect Emily to begin with from Baldwin. And that's what we knew his initial motivation was. But now Baldwin's completely out of the picture. And Howard Prime is all tied up with the whole Claire thing. So does he just want to take over Howard Silk's life? Is that the whole thing he wants to do? Because he's doing a pretty crappy job of it. Or is he still trying to stop something? Even Naya Temple brings up later in the episode that it's weird that this whole management thing, it seems like there's something bigger than this. And even Emily brings up later that is this all just for some kind of weird family squabble, or actually Howard Prime brought this up. So there seems to be a bit more, but I still don't know what Howard's role is. And I remember back to season 1 when we were trying to figure out Howard Silk, and was he really this meek, or was he just playing along? And it certainly seems that way, but it continues to be that every time Howard Silk on the Prime side, or on either side, is put into a situation by playing this really meek, sad sack guy, people feel real comfortable around him, and comfortable enough to tell him absolutely everything. So Howard Silk on the Prime side kind of has the best, grasp of what is going on here. And he just keeps on playing like I'm being exploited and stuff. So I think it would be a pretty damn good twist if it turns out that he and Howard Prime had planned this all along, and they were trying to suss out what's really going on. Because I suspect, I could be wrong, that there might be something a little more than just what we're being told here with Mira and stuff. So I don't know. But the episode is oh man, there's so much happened. So much happens in 45 minutes to an hour. It feels like a movie. It really does. So while Emily and Howard are waiting for Ian to show up, and they think he's showing up alone, by the way, but he is selling Emily out to the management lawyer, and he is in the car with him. They go into Yanik's office, and of course we see that Peter Quayle's there watching the tapes, and they go into Yanik's office, and they figure out that Emily figures out that Yanik was part of the experiment, that this is management, and that Mira is his daughter. But then she says it right there. This is Mira. This isn't just some little girl looking for her daddy. There's something way more going on. So we see Spencer as well. Spencer contacts Claire again, and Claire goes and meets his cell, and we find out that Spencer's cell is all the kids that she grew up with in the Indigo School, and they put them together, and Claire was the only one set off alone, and she's pretty put off by this. And we also have to remember that Claire heard the tape from Poe saying that her parents were intentionally killed. They didn't die from the flu. We also find out that Spencer's parents just gave him up. So those must have been the parents that got killed earlier in the season. That's what I'm imagining, is those are Spencer's parents, possibly. We don't know. So she meets the cell, and they keep carrying these cases. So I'm thinking it's a pathogen. Then they're going to do the same thing to our side, we'll call it, that happened to the Prime side. And we find out in a, Spencer's getting a little soft on Claire, obviously. And Claire decides to confide in him that she heard the tape from Poe, and Spencer at first doesn't believe it. And then he's all, whatever, who cares? You killed an insignificant housewife who was never going to do anything with her life. You're doing something important. So we find out right there that Spencer is a true believer, as was Claire, and Claire sees this, and she tries to argue, and she's all, do you think, first Spencer says Mira couldn't be capable of that. And she's all, really? And she sees that he is a true believer, and she just goes, you're right. I'm wrong. I'm sorry. I misspoke. And she got smart, because, if that would have gone any further, Spencer probably would have been on to her. But at that point, I think Claire saw that, that she even mentions it, that we're not the good guys here. So it's my belief there's going to be, they're going to talk the management into closing the doors. And once that happens, they release the pathogen or whatever the hell it is. And then they get their revenge. I don't know how they expect all to survive it, though. That's the thing. So it might not be a pathogen. It might be something else. But they certainly want to cause a lot of death. There is another meeting between not management, but senior management. They talk to Cy, and it's Roland and Nia Temple and Peter Quayle. Before they go into the meeting, Howard Prime tries to talk to Peter Quayle. He's like, hey, we're not out of this yet. Nia is totally onto us, and we need to do something. I need to talk to your wife. Peter kind of blows him off, said, you better take it easy. Man of your age, don't get too excited. And they go into this meeting, and Roland talks about loyalty and talks about how management wants to meet. Nia Temple's like, that is a really bad idea. And then why is Peter in this meeting? And it gets a little personal. And she mentions that Peter is Roland's son-in-law, and he takes offense to that. And she pretty much lays out like, hey, he's the liability here. And Peter agrees with her and resigns and walks out. This was early on in the episode. Roland had basically begged him to do the right thing and leave his daughter. He's all, if you want to make things right, leave Claire right now. Let her live her life. She's completely different. She's not the same person. She doesn't smile anymore. So he knows something's up. Peter feels bad about this. Peter, for being such a weasel, is actually a really likable character for some reason. And so he resigns and, kind of decides to do the right thing. He goes home, tells Claire that I guess I'm not that important anymore because I quit my job. And she's like, what the hell? You just put targets on our back. He's all, we got to decide now. I want my family to stay together, but I'm taking Spencer and getting the hell out of here. Are you coming with me? And we better hurry because Howard is on his way. Now, I don't know what Howard was on his way to do. It really looked like he was going to kill him. Howard, of course, was sent home with Emily. Emily came and picked him up, and they were under armed guard. Nia Temple also earlier had talked to Emily to see if she could ID Shadow, and Emily couldn't remember. So she looked at the secretary, and she's all, yeah, she had dark hair, and she was related to Peter Quayle in some way, but I'm really not that sure. And so when they went back to the house, Howard Prime said he was going to go out for some groceries, and he loses his tail pretty quickly and is headed off to Quayle's house to do what? Maybe shoot them. This is two instances where Howard Prime was kept from killing people in cold blood, which he was absolutely willing to do. Possibly. I didn't know. Maybe he was just simply going to talk to Claire. I'm not sure. But they bug out of the house, Peter Quayle and Claire, and they end up at Indigo, or at least Indigo on our side. I don't know. So yeah, and also what happened, there was a confrontation between Emily, Ian, and Howard Silk in front of Echo, and management. It looked. They said they just wanted to talk to Emily, but it looked like something more serious because there was management had an armed guard with guns trained on Emily, and she pulls out her gun. She's all, "You think I'm just going to sit here and get guns pointed at me? Forget that." And then Howard steps in front of Emily and says, you're not going to take her in. And I'm not going to be a prisoner anymore. And management says, why don't we could just shoot you because you're meaningless in all this. And when he said that, I'm like, I'm sensing something here. I could be wrong, but I'm sensing something here. I don't think he's that meaningless, even though he completely agrees to it. A little firefight happens. Ian fights the lawyer, almost gets killed, but shoots him. Emily gets shot, but she's wearing her vest. And then she shoots one of the guards, but Howard ends up getting shot. So she takes off with Howard. They leave Ian behind. And Howard is in the passenger seat bleeding out. So that's how the episode ended. This thing is really ramping up into something nuts. I'm expecting a couple of more twists and turns. I'm expecting a couple of more others to show up, but it looks like they are leading towards an end, doesn't it? It really, because this is stuff, although it's absolutely great that we're seeing it in season 2, either they could go on. There could be other things going on. They don't need management. They could also replace management with new management. I don't know. Hopefully this show goes on, but it really looks like we're racing towards a big finish, and maybe they knew it all along. It doesn't, I don't know, but I will get to the chat at this point. And yes, we got some super chats to get to. And hope everybody is great. Hope you enjoyed the episode as much as I did. I really love to talk about good television on this channel as well. So yeah, please check it out. And whether you agree with me on some shows I dislike, you got to understand that I just tell you what I think of an episode, and it's just what I think. I am not the arbiter of all things good or bad. I am just a guy with a microphone who likes some TV and does it and talks about some stuff. So Movie Fenobi, $1.99, damn good episode. People acknowledge being used. Yes. And they're starting to, and yes, that both Claire and Howard both acknowledge that. Howard saying he was exploited, Claire's, and Peter saying, I'm done being yanked around. That's why it was called No Strings Attached. Jess Reed, $5. Hello, Gary, my bearded friend. I have come to listen to you again. Oh, hey, it kind of almost rhymed there. I saw what you did there, Jess Reed. Thank you for the $5. Move Fenobi, $1.99. Beekler beard, the freshest beard around. Oh, it's very fresh today. I shampooed and conditioned, and a little bit of beard oil. I'm starting to use the beard oil now. Thank you. Garbage for £2. STD season 1, okay, but season 2, awful. Burnham is like a god. Yeah, you're the first person who I've heard say 1 is okay, but 2 is awful. They're both awful, but yeah, she's basically a garbage. She's basically a superhero. Okay, so Counterpart is in big trouble. We need more people to watch it. I know it's behind a paywall, and it's tough to add. There's so many damn paywalls now that I think we're getting really close to the limit, and that's pretty unfortunate for some streaming services that just started. But it's my guess that most average people, their limit is 3. I think that's a pretty round number. I think 3 is what people are willing to pay, maybe 4. But I think your average person on the street, or not on the street, I don't know why they say on the street, could be at home too, is willing to pay, $11, $9, $30 a month. Yeah. But if we start getting multiple streaming services and stuff, and then there's attachments with the pay networks, really, I don't know how long you can go. That being said, this show's worth it. This show is worth whatever you have to pay. It's worth paying for an entire network just to watch this show. Imagine it, even if you do it for a month. Okay, so say you pay $11.99. That's cheaper than most DVDs and Blu-rays, and you can watch it as much as you want for that month, and then maybe pick it up again later. There are some deals out there. There's some free 1-week trials and 30-day trials I see pop up for now and again. It's definitely worth it to check this show out. It is that good. It's that good of a show. It's a sci-fi spy twist and turn with just great performances and great writing, as I said before. So we will get to the chat here briefly. Did I know there were 4 Peter Quayles? If there are, that would be mind-blowing. That would I was waiting. That's the thing we're going to lose if we lose this show early. There are so many ways they could play with this. Sets of twins, multiple opening, multiple crossings. Like what was behind the experiment? What led up to the experiment? Seeing the experiment did not answer all the questions. Uh, I Journey, Trials, and Joy. I got the Stars app. Yeah, there you go. Beekler's Beard Balm. I should think about that. That'd be good. Why is Peter Quayle so happy? Is he part of the experiment? The one on the other side. The one who's the one who's in Echo. He's bat-s crazy. I don't know if he's happy. That's interesting. I think one side is part of the experiment. I mean, seeing it as an experiment, when you hear that, he's also lucky. Yeah. When you hear that, it makes one side sound disposable. Like it's an experiment. Experiments go wrong. Things die in experiments. That's why that's a pretty important word there. So what end game does the scientist need? It's science for the sake of science. Red Racket, I think when you run an experiment, you expect certain results, but your mind is, I'm guessing on this one, but your mind is open to seeing something unexpected. And as Yanik put it, these people, the management have dedicated their lives to this. So they want to see it play out however it plays out. Was it a management decision to put the pathogen into the prime side? My guess is yes. They wanted to up the ante, and they foreshadowed that with the simple act of giving a cassette tape to Mira on one side and not giving a cassette tape to Mira on the other side. So they felt like we need to ramp this up a little bit. What if we killed a bunch of people on the other side? And management flipped a coin, or some other management, or management on one side sensed some kind of danger and released the failsafe. Problem is, didn't kill everybody. William Jenkins, we are talking about Counterpart. Thanks, Mark Lazarth. I like to think I have good taste, but doesn't everybody? Seems to be building to a climax, but I think it's going to be a cliffhanger. Too many threads still dangling. Dr. Meatball, it better not be. Oh, boy, it better not be. But I kind of agree with you. I don't get this. What is the end game for management? Rommel Fox, I don't know yet. And I think that's going to be, hopefully that's something they answer this season. But I think that's more for that's more for a series finale, which we might be leading to, which we might not get. And that would suck. That would really suck. Spencer also mentioned his parents gave him up for Indigo. We'll see how he feels learning Mira killed what were most likely his parents in episode 2. Good point. Good point, Apple Crow. Emily knows now alone. She is now that everyone she worked with has been murdered. Not many choices of who she can rely on. Yes. And that's why she needs to rely on Howard Prime. I mean, he is there for her. So I hope the ending won't be rushed because of cancellation. Yeah, but looks like that's what might happen. I wonder if Emily Alpha was working inside of Indigo without her side knowing, but Mira figured out she had planted herself. Heather, that is a great point. That's what I think is going on. That's exactly what I think is going on. The one thing they do show is they haven't showed the closest they have of one side's person being completely evil and the other side's person's being good was Yanik and possibly Howard Prime, but we're not sure. Howard is the biggest mystery in all this. There's a lot of mysteries. Okay. We'll just say there's a lot of mysteries. Emily seemed to forget just how different Howard is acting. Now she's teaming up. Well, I think she's in a bit of a quandary at this point. So I don't know. Howard Prime right now that doesn't seem to be good. Doesn't seem to be good. That was also an important point that goes back to the people wondering if the attack in season 1 were target specific people. They were all of Emily's people. Oh yeah, you're right, Apple Crow. So they killed her entire team. That was the whole point of that. Well, they also wanted to get the crossing closed, but they also wanted to send a message with that. Interesting. Hey, that's okay. LC3566. Oh no, I still haven't finished watching season 1. Sorry. I must leave. Counterpart rocks. Hey, it's okay. Come back when after you watched it. It's all good. All Emily's people was a good reveal. Yes. Absolutely. Claire killed her good self. In that respect, she personifies evil. She does. I mean, she's responsible for her actions. But that's why you never want to be a true believer, right? That's why Claire's redemption. This is Claire's redemption arc, because she is a terrible person. She really is. I mean, the only does she deserve redemption at this point, though? I don't know. And Baldwin, have you guys and gals missed Baldwin this season? Because she's really not been in it at all. And it looks like she makes a return next week. So I'm very excited about that. True believers can be corrupted so badly. They can, Mark. They can. Basically, true believers are, suckers, for lack of a better term. Are the writers going to try to make each of the viruses like heaven and hell? Oh, that's weird. Yeah, maybe. There's going to be Logrian, Ben Dragon. There's going to be something. They're going to. I'm sensing a big twist coming. So is Claire going to do a suicide mission? I wouldn't be surprised if she finds out that the pathogen is going to kill everybody, including her little baby Spencer, and she might sacrifice herself. That would be a proper redemption arc. Journey, trials, and joy. I felt bad when the little Claire had to get both of her legs broken. Yeah, that was terrible. Anyone else think Emily's mom might be involved as well, taking Emily to the inn where Brant was dropping off packages? Oh, Apple Crow, that is a good point. She's been very, yeah. What happened to her parents? I mean, they had Jamie Bamber playing her brother, and he just disappeared. It's kind of a big star to just come in. Maybe he was just there that day. Mira is using true believers just like she's using everyone else. Yeah, she is the true evil in this. Is there a Blu-ray for Counterpart season 1 yet? Yes, there is. It's available on Amazon right now. That would help boost viewers. I believe that you are right. Okay, I'm going to wrap this one up. When I try to keep it short, I also have a video to cut right now. So I will be back. We could talk more about Counterpart tomorrow morning if you're watching this live. If you're watching this as a video, every Monday and Wednesday I do the Nerd Erotic Nooner, and we can talk about whatever show you want to talk about. It's sad that you're the only channel reviewing Counterpart, Gary. You're like the Don Quixote of good TV. That's I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, Mako. Oh, at least I'm not the oh God, I'm blanking on that now. The Baron von Munchausen of TV. There we go. Good night, Jess Reed. Good night, Apple Crow. And Christine. Yeah, Emily's mom, right? I think that's a good one. Now, see, Apple Crow's paying attention. He used what happened to the fucking quail, Apple Crow, by the way? I guess you can only change your name once in a while. So please go to nerderotic.com for our live stream schedule. And please watch Counterpart as much as you possibly can. And we will be back next Sunday to cover God, there's only 3 more episodes left. That's such a bummer. So please check us out. And on Patreon next week, we are going to resume the watch party. So I believe Saturday night, if you're up late, I will be watching Counterpart live on Patreon. So everybody have a great night, and may the small folks sing songs of your greatness. if this thing ever wants to turn off. There we go. Bye.